Hello and welcome to another session of Music Matters with F. And I'm so pleased to have to interview today with us in the studio someone who is very much a man after my own heart, and I admire him for his qualities, his musical qualities and skills, which we're going to discover. Welcome, DSublime.
Doing?
All right. Okay, we seem to be freezing, but we'll just carry on regardless. And how are you? Okay, all right.
I'm very well. Yeah, I'm getting on through lockdown. Trying to make the most of it now. But yeah, we're doing well. Trying to stay productive is the mindset I'm trying to get at the moment. But yeah, we're doing all right.
That's the name of the game. Okay, so let's take it right back to the start. When did you start discovering then your musicality?
I come from a musical family, so I think it's always been around all of us as children, and my family were always involved in music. My dad was in bands; he's a good singer and trained singer, and so it was always there. But I'm so accessible for me. I didn't feel like it was necessarily what I wanted to do until I was a bit older, and then I started discovering that I can be creative with it. It's not just about the learning and the progression. It's like now I can be creative and be a bit more of myself, and that's when I thought, that's when I figured, I could go on maybe try to do a bit more. But it's always been there. But I guess when I was 12, 13, maybe 11, 12, something like that, that's when I really started focusing on it.
What did you start with? Because I know that you're a multi-musician. So what was the first thing that sort of took your interest?
It was drums. I've always loved rhythm. That's always been the thing for me. Rhythm is half of everything, it was drums was the first thing I learned. I started learning when I was about 12, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. That was the thing that sort of drove me there. Yeah. After that, that was quite easy. It was again always accessible. So I sort of moved on to guitar, but I found being a drummer first was
okay. Seems to be frozen. We'll carry on. So,
like I say, freezing there. There we go.
That's better. You're back. Okay. So then, how did you get in?
Sorry.
That's okay. How did you get into producing?
It was when I was at school. We had a teacher that was quite into bringing in technology quite a lot, and when I was at school, it was that sort of turn of things like the Apple Macs and GarageBand and that becoming again more accessible to people, and so it all started at the same time really. Like I sort of one time again it was sort of 12, 13. Quite a lot, and that was helpful. And like I say, I had a teacher that would let me take equipment home for the school holidays and things like that, and that helped. And I just got straight on it from there. And it all sort of started at the same time. I guess my interest just flurried like straight away, and I was trying to get involved in everything I could. And it came quite early though.
Okay, and you've also been in a few bands.
Yeah, bands at school and things like that, of course. But I was in a band. We started as the Shah. We had Suchi. I don't know if you probably know Suchi, and Bristol people will know Suchi. and myself and El Main, my friend Jermaine. We started off as and that was quite cool. And we started going around doing a lot of gigs, and Bristol's obviously so many opportunities for gigs and festivals and things like that with St Paul's and Harriside and things like that. So we really enjoyed that. And then me and Jermaine went on to do the Likely Culprit as well, which we started as a sort of production songwriting, trying to pitch in songs and things like that. We've done an EP which we started trying to push mainly to labels and things like that, pretty much live. But that's when again the production side sort of kicked off for me, and I took it again. That's when I said, hey, I'm going to spend some time in the studio and really get down on production, and again kicked on from there, and that's I guess where we are now. So, but yeah, I've done like tapping for people as well, with Kiris. Kiris, love playing with his band, always great. So yeah, we've had a few gigs together with that, and that's always good. I want to get back into live as well. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember I was pleasantly surprised when I popped into the music shop at the bottom of Park Street and saw you.
That's it. With musicians, we've always got, well, not always, some of us are lucky enough, but for me anyway, I've always had to have another job, something to bring the money in. So yeah, that was great. Working in the music shop was great. Get to meet people and chat music all day, which is what more can you ask them? So get paid for it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's talk about what happened in the dreaded 2020. What happened about a year ago now? What happened for you musically?
Wow, yeah. I'll tell you what, Everton. I stopped for a bit. When lockdown came, I don't know why. I found myself wanting to do new things all the time and sort of stretch the possibilities of what could be done. What little we could do. So it was always, just trying to find something new to do. And I don't know, I found it was the first time in my life, I think, that music actually maybe took a step back. And I started thinking about other things. And it's been more now in the last sort of few months that I've really started to try and feel that creativity again in music. And in the meantime, I've been writing as well, of course, and doing things, but I don't know. It felt like there was no end goal. It was like, am I producing it for live? Well, I can. Am I producing? What can we do with this? And so I struggled. I'll be honest. In the first half of the 2020, but I'm getting back around to it now, and I feel that like it was maybe because I'd always focused on music. From like I say, spare time I had was devoted to music, whereas like lockdown maybe enabled me to be a normal person for a bit, and not always putting that pressure on myself to be creative and maybe just take a step back and relax. And I do still work sort of a 9 to 5 and things like that as well, so working from home as well was a different aspect for me, and that it felt work, because I write my music and produce my music from home as well, so it was like I didn't have that escape of the studio coming back from an office or coming back from a day's work or whatever it was, which is what it felt like before. So it was like working 2 jobs in your home, which was a bit strange, but I'm definitely coming around to it now. I'm definitely feeling more creative, and me and Kiris have started a second album with Future Blues Project, which we've been trying to push, but again, it's that I can't be in the same room as him, and that's difficult when you're trying to write new material. We can sort of throw ideas at each other, but you never get that same vibe. We're getting there, and we're slowly coming out of lockdown now, and that's maybe inspiring me to get even more back into it and get involved. But I think it's been a tough one for creative
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to ask you,
but maybe for the better. So we'll see what comes out on the other side with
okay.
the job.
So I want to ask you about the future. How do you see the near future panning out?
Yeah, I think it's especially on the live side of things. You know, I think if we can get back to be doing more live and being in venues again, and I think that's only got to be inspiring. So yeah, that I'm really looking forward to, and I think I said earlier I want to get back more into the live side of things, because I think that's something that I've missed through the last year, is just that interaction of people hearing music and feeling your music, and yeah, that's something that I definitely want to push on, and I'm thinking maybe a new live project would be a good way to go about that and get that back. And I think people are going to be ready for live music. There's no doubt. You know, they are going to be ready for it, and they're going to want to party. And I'm thinking, you know, let's do it. Yeah.
Good. And what advice would you give to anyone who's wishing to walk in your shoes, maybe take up a little bit more activity on the musicianship front? What advice would you give them?
I think my advice would just be getting in hand. Never put any pressure on yourself to do anything for anyone else but yourself, in that sense. Obviously, if you're working in a band, you work as a team, you work together, of course, but it's got to be about what you want to do. There's a lot of pressure in the industry for people to do what other people say. And I think do it for yourself, do it for the love, and remember why you fell in love with it, and which is something that I'm getting back into myself now, remembering why you fell in love with music, and keep that as your goal. You know, whatever it was that made you fall in love with it, that's what you stick on and go for it. Yeah, and just get involved.
Sound advice. Okay, where can we get to hear you and your products? I know that you've been active. Well, you are part of the Future Blues project. So where can people hear your output, your music, you mentioned your collaborations in the past? Have you got a website?
Yeah, so obviously Future Blues project is out there now. We did a remix album of an album that Curious did with Curious Riviere with an incredible musician called Joe Allen. They produced an album, a blues album, all original blues, and me and Curious sort of remixed it, re-edited it, and it's out there on Spotify, Amazon. I think it's everywhere, to be honest. I don't think you can get away from it if you type it in. But yeah, there's that as well. And I believe Suchi did an acoustic album a few years ago. I believe that's out there as well. That was myself on guitar and a couple of writing collaborations on that one as well. So that's out there.
How do you spell Suchi?
Yeah, I think that's that.
How do you spell Suchi?
Suchy.
Okay, so we can find that on the platforms as well.
I believe so. Yes. I mean, I've got it on CD format. It was a few years ago when CDs were still there. But it was a really good album that she wrote, and I know that she's doing other material from that now in a production line as well. So check her out. She's great. So I think she's Suchi Shah is what she goes by now. So yeah, check her out. And other material, I think, is going to be new material. It's all going to be new material now. And I know that I mentioned Jermaine Elmaine, my man Elmaine from Likely Culprits. We're doing. We're going to try and do an album, I think, and do something creative again. And again, it's that I miss being with people and writing with people, and I'm going to try and just get myself everywhere now. And yeah, that's the plan.
All right, so one last point. If the year 2020 was a human being, what would you say to him or her?
Wow. I think I would just say 3 words. Why so challenging? Why? There's so many things You know, it's not just COVID, is it either? You know, it goes deeper than that. You know, there's so many things. Yeah, we probably don't have time to touch on them all. But yeah, I think I'd just say, why so challenging? Yeah.
Okay. Nice and succinct. All right. Well, DSublime, what we're going to do, we're going to wrap it up. But what I'm going to do is ask you if you'd be willing to come back, because as you're getting back into the flow, getting back into the process from a challenging break, we want to keep up with you. We want to keep in touch with what you're doing and get to hear the lowdown on everything that you're doing. So if you're up for that, we definitely like to have you.
Always up for that, Everton. Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Well, look, take care, and until next time, we'll see you again soon. All right. Take care. Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.